Well, welcome folks to today's webinar. We are featuring Clifford from EPOC, who's going to be talking about a new benefit that's available to the PAMIC members. And not only that, it has a broader role in the insurance industry. And Clifford's going to talk a little bit about that as a risk management tool. Many of you may have seen Clifford at the NAMIC conventions. Clifford, you want to wave to everybody? Because he's been definitely, I've met him numerous times down in the exhibitor hall, and a great person to talk to. He does have an interesting West Coast accent, so maybe somebody can figure out what it is or where it's from. But we hope that you're safe and sound in California with all the fires that are going on out there. What I'm going to do now is just turn the meeting over to Brittany, who's going to talk a little bit about how to use the technology in Zoom. And then we'll give Clifford all the time that he needs to explain what's going on. So Brittany, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ron. So if anyone would like to ask Clifford a question, go ahead and pull your cursor over the screen and a Q&A box should pop up. Just submit your questions through that Q&A block and we will get to your questions as soon as he can. So now with that being said, Clifford, if you would like to take it away to give your presentation.
There we go. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, PAMIC, and thanks a lot, PAMIC members, for coming along. It's a great honor to be able to show you this stuff, and also I think it's really good that that Ron and Brittany sort of made this effort, because it could be really useful to your employees, to all the members that have access to this tool. And I'll preface this by saying, conceptually, that we're seeing a huge spike in the use of our estate planning services, wills in particular, healthcare directives, and powers of attorney. And I don't think I have to say why. You know, for good or for bad, people are realizing their vulnerability. So what we have here is a very powerful tool to create and develop a will, create and develop a healthcare directive, etc., etc. And I'm very keen on getting this into the hands of the community. And in this situation, could be all you guys and your employees. I think it's really important. So having said that, when I'm looking over to here off screen, I'm looking at Q&A and such. So just in case you're wondering, I may occasionally glance over there. And another housekeeping idea: if for some reason everything goes, like dead, black screen, it's out of my control. I haven't experienced any issues at all for a very long time. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I have to. Okay, so we should be good though. All right, without further ado, I'm going to move my my face over there. So here we are. It's a little bit of a challenge for me as a business development person to just show you stuff as opposed to pitch you stuff. But I think it's important for you to understand what this tool is and who it services, to feel comfortable about sharing this with your colleagues. So I'm going to be treading a fine line in showing you what we have and pitching you, as in the sales. I hope that's all right. So a little bit about us, and I'll be really quick with all this stuff. In technology years, we're ancient. We're like hundreds of years old. But in human years, we go back 26 years. And we're working with a lot of large brands in the insurance market and the life market, and also, and to a certain degree, in the financial market. We're supporting 60+ brands. and approximately 1 million documents leave our servers globally, supporting, you know, the policyholders and the members. Why do people work with us? Because these kinds of services are getting more and more important. And as you know, differentiation is tough. But what's happened with the pandemic, it seems to have accelerated the importance of digital tools for obvious reasons. So, you know, people are getting comfortable with doing things or taking care of business in their homes, in that environment. And obviously, we set up a digital service years and years ago so that people could be doing this conveniently in their own space and their own time. So that's what this is about. All of you have access to this tool and you can use it whenever you want, 24/7. And there's no additional costs tied to it. There's nothing hidden. It's a true InsurTech proposition. In this situation, we're looking at personal legal protection. It's a consumer service, and it goes along with personal lines, let's just say. But by the way, we have set up various services to tie in with different policy types. So, you know, as you can see over there, we have a service called Business Risk Protection, and Ron referenced a risk mitigation tool, which is very much what business risk protection is about. But I think the personal side has a risk protection involved in it, because if you haven't done a will, then the chances of, you know, your family battling to claim what is rightly theirs is at risk. So I think a will is really important part of risk protection. I don't know if there's anything further. I'm going to jump into the demo. I told you I was going to be very light on pitching and sales. I hope I've stuck to that. And Ron and Brittany, if you feel like I'm missing something or you want to move me along, feel free to jump in. I'm not precious at all. So here goes. What we're looking at right now is our corporate intranet, and it's all public, you know, domain. But these are some of the brands that we're supporting. So you're in good company here. What I'm trying to do is give you a sense of confidence, to be honest. And let's start plugging into some sites really quickly. And I actually have never showed this site ever. Okay. Well, I feel it's this, you know, maybe you get bored, or maybe, you know, you don't want to say the same things over again. But it's interesting. Slater and Gordon, they're actually a very large law firm based in Australia. And I think the reason why I'm showing you this is because they're a very large law firm. They're actually publicly traded. And I don't think you can publicly trade a law firm anywhere else other than in Australia. So it tells you how large they are. They do a lot of union work, actually. Anyway, they're using our platform to deliver legal services, if that gives you any sense of the efficiency. And that's why they're using it, because it's extremely efficient, and they can get through numbers rapidly and know that what they're delivering is correct. But let's step it back down to our usual model here, and that's working with Unum, for example. And this is a white label service, and obviously it's aimed at business. So this is a commercial book of business, completely white labeled, single sign-on. Mutual of Omaha are here in the States. This is complete white label again, single sign-on. This is basically what I would suggest you use personal legal protection for. It's wills, draft, powers of attorney, etc., as you can see. These are all tools that you have at your disposal. Allianz, again, a white labeled site. Epoch Legal, this is in the UK as it goes. And if we look into here, we can look at all the legal templates. So this is again set up for business. And I don't think I'm going to show you anything more from some of the companies we work with, but hopefully you've got a sense of our scope and our capability. And if we pare it right down, we're in the NAMIC community, we're working with, and I'll give you the smallest company we're working with, and I'm very proud of it as well. We're working with Alamance Farmers Mutual Insurance Company. They're in North Carolina, and we're supporting their personal lines book. And they are they're a very small, I mean, they're somewhere around the 1,500 policyholder mark. So we go from Allianz Mutual of Omaha right down, and we don't care about numbers because our goal here is to support the community. And I know it sounds a little bit righteous, but that truly is our goal. So let's look at personal legal protection, which is what you guys have, and which is, you know, what your colleagues could have as well. It's a site that provides you access to all the services that I'm talking about. I haven't logged in yet, but I want to show you this. Okay, login is, bear with me. Where are you? There you are. Just copying and pasting something, yeah. I think it might be interesting anyway. Look, let me show you something. We've provided a scheme code. So you would take that code and you would plug it in here. This is a zero-tech integration process. So we have a way of doing this where you can distribute these services with zero-tech. Obviously, we can go single sign-on, etc. But that's what you have. You have a scheme code, and I'm going to log in. Right, here we go. And grab this. Bang. Off I go. So now I'm in, and I can tap into any of these. This is actually set up in California because I'm based in California, so I obviously I plug in my information and it will bring up California. There you go. But it could be anywhere in the States for that matter. I could change that jurisdiction by going into here. But right off the bat, the system's smart, and it's going to bring up the territory that I registered with. Having said that, if I move and I go to Florida, for example, then if I change my my information, then it will bring up Florida. Okay, so you can actually bounce around the states with this system. You're not stuck in one place. We're talking about usability, customer experience, and accessibility. The reason why I'm going to move off of this site is because these are all demo sites, and there's a particular function I want to show you that isn't on here, but it's on yours. It's just not on this particular demo site, it so happens. So this is legal protection, personal legal protection. This might be a different brand, but it's the same site. But it's more what you have, if that makes sense. It's fully functional. I am going to go into a will for a married person. And every document works the same way. So there's an introduction here. And I'm going to start. Here we are. I'll give you the rundown. On the left are going to be questions, very much like a lawyer or an attorney would ask you. All the questions a good attorney would ask you are in the system. It's an expert system relatable to artificial intelligence. So you have, so it's smart and it will get to know you. And I'm not going to go in any further because you'll see it in action. The progress bar is on the top, and here are sections of questions, okay? I'm not going to read all this. It's all written in layperson's terms. This is a qualifier right off the bat. It's basically asking me, do I have a lot of money, i.e. $23.16 million. This is, you know, if that's the case, then this situation is not for me, and I need to seek some expert advice. But if I am part of the 99%, I did this as I was talking. If I didn't check those boxes, I wouldn't be able to go on. So it's good. I mean, it's smart. It knows my situation. As it goes, I don't have that kind of money, and I'm not going to disinherit. So I'm going to check those boxes, and off I go. You're going to start seeing a lot of scrolling going on the right here. So this is where, as I start answering the questions, clauses are popping in and out. And here on top are completed sections, and it's tracking my progress. There's a platform in the back that's working feverishly, and it's tracking everything, and it's fully accountable, and it's making this journey seamless. Am I aware of any disputes? Not I know of. Okay. Again, this is all layperson's terms. I might read a few of them, but I'm going to keep going right now. Okay, what's the name of my spouse? First marriage, yes. You can start seeing it's going to get deeper and deeper. What we're doing right now is we're building a thorough will. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Some people have finished this in 15 minutes. Maybe they got a simple life. On average, I would say it's probably about 45 minutes max. It might take longer, but I'll go into that. So let me just carry on here. Do I have any children with a current spouse? Yes. Let's see, I'm 18% through this. Do I have any legally adopted children? So I hit yes. So now I'm 17% through. So you can see the system is smart, and now it's going to ask me more questions. Okay? So as you can see, as I answer the questions, the logic is kicking in, and I'll start developing this will according to me, and I'm customizing this will. But let's make it simple here. Do I have any legally adopted children? No. Do I have any children from a previous? No. Disinherit? No. Great. I'm all the way through. This is a situation. There's one unit. I can add to this. So again, you can revise this. You can go back in and you can revise this. And you know, as your situation changes, whether it be children, divorce, what have you, you can make your amendments and revise. In a business setting, this might seem simple what I'm going to do now, but think about it. In a business setting, you might want to prioritize this order. So if this is a business document, for example, bang, I can do that. Again, the back end is working for me. What looks over here is simple, which is the way it should be. I'm going to keep working here. Okay, next screen. How far down am I? I'm 32% through. Here's a good example. I hope I'm doing all right, Ron and Brittany. Here's a good example. Would you like to name one executor or two executors? Every question has an explanation, okay? So, good point. I don't know. If you choose to name two people, they must act together and all decisions must be unanimous. This can cause deadlock if both executors cannot agree. For this reason, it is better to name one person to serve at a time. Bear in mind that either way, you can still appoint a successor as an alternate if the original person you appoint, or one of them, as the case may be, is unable for any reason to act. Okay, Actually, so it's down to me, and I think actually that makes sense. I think I am going to do one executor, but okay, now I've got to name that executor. I'm not going to go through that. And here it is. I've now got the option to add a successor. It is strongly recommended that you appoint great, good idea. I like that. Only thing is, now I'm going to have more things to add, as you can see. Whatever I don't complete is going to be in red. Let's move through this more, because I think you've got the idea now and what's going on here. We're creating a thorough will. I've got provisions to provide, you know, care for my pet. You know, we're going deep here. I can donate to charities. That's what this is about. And then I'm going to go on. And as you can see, I don't necessarily have to finish everything. It's not necessarily complete, but here's something. Are there any special provisions for your spouse, real estate, so on and so on? This is something that might need to be kicked around a bit, and that's fine. You don't have to finish this in one fell swoop. You can actually stop. And by the way, you can access this on a phone, on a PC, on a Mac, a tablet, what have you. So you might start this on a phone, and then you might want to move, or you might want to stop in this situation because I want to talk to my spouse about this. That's fine. I can stop. It's not going anywhere. So we're talking again about customer experience, ease of use, and access. Okay. I want to show you this though. Another example. And let's just look at the history quickly. Okay. Here's where it's showing the versions I'm on, and you know, the accountability. I can compare, I can restore. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this sharing tool. And this sharing tool is great. I think it's such a winner. I think even in Epoch, I think it's understated. But for me, I think it's really smart. I can share this document with a third party in real time and give them access to this document. And this has a lot of ramifications. So for example, I might want to share this with my attorney, but I don't want to spend $800 or $1,200 to do this will. I want to spend an hour of my attorney's time in getting my attorney to review this. Okay, or I might have a question. So I can use this smartly. Or on a business level, if I'm, you know, I'm a contractor and I'm subcontracting a plumber or an electrician, then I can share this and I can get them to fill in their information and the job description. And this is all about convenience and saving money and time. So let's share this document and show how it works. Show you how it works. I've set up an account on Yahoo, and let's see. Just gonna go through this. And thanks for bearing with me. It's sometimes weird to be talking to yourself, although I don't think I am. I wish I could see you guys. Let's put an expiry date on it, which, you know, could be important depending on the document. And then I could hide the draft, or but I'm going to enable the editor. And next. Okay, and then I can add my comment here, and my comment here is what about my cash? Okay, and off it goes. Great. Go into now this is the third party, right? So it's not me. This is not the end user. This is the third party, and in this situation, I'm sharing this with a lawyer, attorney. That's really funny. They're so smart, these guys, aren't they? I actually need a chain for my chainsaw. Anyway, all right. So here we go. There's two emails for security purposes. One is giving me access to by a link, and it's telling me what the question is, the comments. What about my cache? Okay. And the other is giving me the password. Okay, which is review 1. Okay, so great. So let's go in here. Okay, now bear in mind, I'm the third party. So in this case, I'm the lawyer. I could be anyone. I could be the spouse, whoever I'm sharing this document with. And you know, this is amazing stuff, because this is real time. This is real time, and I've been given editing rights here. Okay, so fantastic. I'm going to go in, and I'm whatever it is I'm doing, I'm going to review it, and I'm particularly going to look at this on my hard cache, and you know, the lawyer has made the edit. I'm going to bold it just for our purposes. All right. This is not smoke and mirrors, although this is in Bollywood. But so this is clever stuff. I've edited real time. I'm going to send it back. All I have to do is finish. I didn't even bother saving, because it does actually auto save. And let's go back into here, and you can see it's being shared. Let's look at the history. There's the history. We can see who it was shared with. I'm now into version 3. Again, fully accountable. I'm going to show you a bit of the back end as well, by the way. This is a secure environment. I actually use this. I ride a dirt bike with my son, and I do some family stuff like name change or whatever it is. And I am a bit of a motorcycle collector as well. So I use this actually for sales documents and all kinds of stuff. You know, I could actually take this and I can throw it in a folder. I can throw it into demo documents, whatever. I could actually rename it. Rename it. Let's see. CC. So it's basically my filing system and my secure environment. Great, but let's go back in and see what the lawyer did. Okay, I've still got all these to go through. We're not going to do that, don't worry. There's Kiki and Sam and California. This is all right. Here's what my lawyer did. Great, fantastic. I can just keep rolling, and so it goes on and on. It goes on, and it's really quite deep. Cash bequests, intangible. How do you want to handle this property? I think you got the idea. This means you will leave a certain identified piece of property to an individual, e.g. stock to Thomas Smith. So I think you've got the idea. I'm just looking for any. Do I need to submit my employee information with Epoch to receive access to this benefit? Do I need to submit my employee information? Literally, just to answer, and I don't mind going, you know, stopping in between. What you will have is a code that you distribute to your employee, and your employee would open the system as I did, and they would plug in, and it's not a lot of information. They would plug in their name, their address, and their email, very basic information, and they would have access to the service. So that, so it's a code distribution scheme, if that answers your question. And we are also, just for the reference, because we're in the UK. I mean, I'm based here and we're in the US, but the mothership is in the UK. We're GDPR compliant, which is a massive undertaking, and it was actually a year's project to get compliant. So if there's any concern about security, we've got that one covered, and hence we're working with companies like Mutual of Omaha, etc., Unum. But hopefully I answered that question. So look, back to here. Great. So it would take me, you know, we're going to go through this. Here's another interesting one. You have the option of naming one person to inherit your residue, or multiple people in either equal or unequal shares. You will be given the opportunity to decide what should happen with a beneficiary's share if that beneficiary should die before you. What I'm trying to do here is show you that it's set up for the layperson, and it's feasible that you could actually be doing this and you don't need a lawyer. I'm not suggesting that lawyers are defunct. We work with lawyers, as you can see, and also lawyers have written this. Our partnership is with lawyers, but there are also lawyers out there that believe that these processes could be made simpler. So that's where we are. So great. I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna, you know, let's just say I've completed this document, and I'm all the way at the end here. And I've got my instructions on what to do with this. And in most situations, California, most definitely, I would sign this in blue and I would take it to be notarized. And then I have my will. But the step before that would be obviously completing it. But then you have the option of exporting. So not only the system will save it in the cloud, but you could actually export this as a Word doc or a PDF, and obviously you'd print it up and sign. But you could save this to your own system as well. So we've got a great round trip there on how you would use this. Hopefully I've made it fairly easy to understand. Let's move into the back end. And this won't take long, to be honest. Here we go. Hopefully it's still functioning. Great. I didn't want to plug in my password again, to be honest.
Clifford, before you move into that, this is Ron. We do have a question that deals with getting access to it. We've answered a couple already in terms of where they can find the access, but the one question, actually it looks like it may have been answered. I'm bringing it up right now. But the one question we did get was, I'm looking for it. It had to do with how much information does a employee need to put in to your system once they get, access it through the code? Do they have to put a lot of personal identifiable information in?
Oh, that's what I said. Let's see my details. That's it. It's very basic, actually.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Where was I? Hopefully, you guys feel that's acceptable. Elks. Okay. This is the back end. Although this is a dummy site, to be honest, meaning this is all dummy data. But this is the back end. It's for demo purposes only. And it actually can be used most significantly by partners. And we could actually hand our partners the key. And that's what we do with actually Slater and Gordon. They have access to the platform and they develop their own content and they're managing their content through this platform, okay? the platform is what's driving what I showed you. And it's everything from customer service, technical support, legal review, if, in the situation of Slater and Gordon, for example. Actually, policyholders could upload documents if that was the situation that we were in. So it could be a business, a commercial line situation where policyholders are uploading, landlords are uploading lease agreements that show that their tenants are have agreed to take on rental insurance, for example, and now we're building a preferred book of business. So the platform is deep and rich, and it handles a lot. And it also is fully accountable, and it tracks every key press from day one. So if there is an issue on either side, whether it's on our side or on the user's side, it's their error or our error, we can track back. And it's really important for brands to know that. And it kicks out reports according to how we want to customize the reports. So some companies we work for are asking for monthly reports, biannual reports, quarterly reports. What's the usage? What are the users, opening? What are they creating? And from that we can tell, okay, wills are a really big item right now, or whatever the data is that we want to extract, we can. And so that's what this platform does, and that's what's behind and the driving force behind the front-facing tool that I showed you. And I think it's important to know that, and this is why the big brands are working with us. So my goal here is to make this as simple as possible, and also not take up as much time, to be efficient with your time, actually. So moving back, and Ron, I really like the fact that you jumped in, and please feel free to jump in again. I'm trying to keep an eye on the questions. So we looked at the back end, the platform, fantastic. Just a little snippet. We're working with a top 5 P&C company. The reason why is because their agents, they did a massive research across the nation, this one particular company, and they found that their agents really liked our services, and we came in the top. Any allied service has come in, we came in at 85%, and so consequently we're in the process of contract negotiation and product development, but this happens to be based on the commercial line side, on our business risk protection service. We're talking about allied services here, and that's what personal legal protection is. And we constantly are doing research, but we have to be general because of confidentiality. So we do surveys across the board of not one particular company. And so what you're seeing before you is a conglomerate of data, basically. And I mean, Ron, we've got involved in the marketing of this, and how you distribute this to your members, and we're happy to do this as well. And if it's any feedback is really welcome, although I suppose it would be feedback to PAMIC as opposed to me, but I'm just telling you that we love feedback either way. And that's really the tool. I mean, if I get into anything else like that, well, customer feedback might be interesting for you, because I do think it's important, if you're going to pass this out to your employees, that you feel comfortable that this is a solid program. So here's some feedback. Excellent service, makes me want to stay with insurer. Can't tell you the name.
Great. Cliff, this is Ron again. I'd like to add some commentary as well. So Clifford had an opportunity to present this to the PAMIC board before we decided to make this a benefit for membership, for our members. And They were very impressed with the level of detail, the ease of use, and that kind of thing. EPOC is a PAMIC member as well, so you have some comfort that they are part of the PAMIC family and not just trying to sell a product to PAMIC, but or to you generally. But really, you know, I see this as a great tool to an HR benefit, if you like, for your employees, and clearly, if you're interested in thinking about this as an additional type of policyholder benefit, you need to talk with Clifford about that directly. I'm not here to sell for him. I don't get any commissions, and I don't get any finder's fees. But I've started using this as well and found it very useful. And, you know, when you're doing wills, that kind of stuff, you know, it can get very expensive. And if you're like me, most of your situation is going to be relatively normal stuff. And this is a perfect tool to work you through that. That doesn't cost anything. So I do recommend everybody take a look at it. I'm sorry I jumped in there, Cliff, but I just felt obligated to say that. Is there, what else did you want to do?
I'm pleased you did, because, you know, I really am biting my tongue to get, you know, to get more involved in how we're working with insurance companies, and it really would then be getting into a sales pitch, and I'm trying not to go there, to be honest. I want to honor that. So yeah, no, I'm pleased you said that. You know, the only other additional information I have is really how we're working with insurance companies, and that's not what I'm doing here right now. So unless I get questions like that come up on the Q&A over there, I won't go there, Ron. I'll honor this. So yeah. Okay.
What I was going to say is, for our membership listening to this, and I can see the folks that are on the attendees, if you want to make this available to your employees, they will have to make sure that they're registered in your bundle with PAMIC as well. And you can do that either through the bundle administrator, or you can email PAMIC and we'll make sure they get into the system. We tend to see that not every employee is in the system for many different reasons, but now that we're expanding our benefits, it's really to your benefit to be able to make these kinds of things that may not otherwise be on your radar screen available to your members as an employee benefit. And, you know, I think that's a great thing. So with that said, Cliff, I'm going to send it back to you, and you know, if you get to end it when you want.
No, I appreciate that. Look, I'm going to bow out gracefully, hopefully. You know, what would be really nice is to get some feedback, genuinely get some feedback on this presentation, on how useful you think this product might be, or this service might be for your company. It would be really good, because, as I said, I feel like in a way I'm talking to myself, and feedback is all I got, really. So it would be really nice to get some feedback if you guys feel like it, and you can either, you know, send it through now or send it to Ron or directly. And if any of you guys, and honestly, I don't mind doing this, if any of you guys want to open up a short, and I can do this quickly or as long as you want, but if any of you guys want to open up a demo for your employees as some kind of a service or benefit that, you know, would be sort of nice team building, community building event, I don't mind doing a demo for you guys individually, for your individual companies, if that's what you want, just to show your colleagues what you've got and what PAMIC's bringing to the table, because I do think it's powerful. But it's all perception. How important is a will? I don't know. You tell me. If it's really important, then this is a fantastic opportunity. If it's not that important, then it's all down to perception, isn't it? So if there are, I'm sorry I missed this. Are there any services besides? Yes, there are. There are services. Powers of attorney. Here, let me go into it. Hang on. It won't take long. I'll just run you through it. Let's see. Legal topics.
So
So,
hold on. So for the audience, we did get a question through the chat function. And the question simply is, are there other services besides the will? And I think Clifford's going to go into that at this point.
yeah. So just on the will, I mean, you have, I wanted to get to the demo really quickly, to be honest. But just under the will, you have these services. And I know this says California. I don't know if you missed it. But depending on how you enter your information, and the territory will come up, you can always change that. I said that, and I'm saying it very quickly. And sorry to be, you know, duplicate. Power of attorney. We've got those services. Power of attorney. I hope I'm not being too quick here. I don't.
No, this is perfect kind of speed. Yeah, because.
Okay. Create. Thanks, Ron. Healthcare directive. We've got those two healthcare directives. And by the way, this changes. In other words, we constantly update and review. So we might be adding services, but this is what's there right now. And I should say under California, it might be different in Pennsylvania, but not a huge amount. This gives you a good idea. This is a great tool if you're most landlords tend to be small landlords in the States. I can't remember, it's something like 85% are small landlords. This is an amazing tool if you're a landlord. If you've got a rental house or an apartment that you're renting, this actually takes care of all of your rentals. And I've got family members that use this avidly, actually. So this in itself, this particular section is an extremely powerful tool and worth its weight in gold. Consumer, I should have shown you this, I suppose, sorry. Consumer, complaint, builder, refund, automobile, sale, this is what I use. Bit of a collector, it's an obsession. Trusts, very important part of life. Open up. There you go. Okay. Family. I actually use this for my daughter. We called her after my grandmother, Rebecca Kiki Cohen, and she ended up liking Kiki, so we changed her name to Kiki Rebecca Cohen. There we are. Touch of divorce, and then household. So no, it's not just wills, as you can see. It's quite a lot. Getting a lot of bang for your buck there. I'm particularly excited with the landlords, because that's, I mean, we use that in our business risk protection, by the way. We actually had a separate landlord service because we felt that was such a strong component. But then we realized that trying to maintain so many different sites and services, we decided to make it easy and actually more valuable to our partners. So we put the landlord section in personal, and then the same landlord section is in business. So I think that's a thorough.
So Clifford, are there any other services in the pipeline that are not listed here that you're allowed to discuss a little?
Say that again, sorry. I
said, are there any other services that you just didn't go over now that are in development that you can share with us? Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've always been hot. I mean, I've lived in, just so you know, I'm not a transplant for EPOC. Recently, I've lived in Los Angeles for nearly 30 years. Okay, So and I'm not new to the States. And when I started working with Epoch, they invited me because they wanted to get into North America, and I have a bit of an entrepreneurial background. I looked at farm immediately, and it's taking us Epoch a while, but we haven't just started it, but we're getting closer to finishing it. So we're developing what we call farm risk protection, which is a conglomeration of business, personal, and landlords, all mixed into one. And so it will be, there'll be services to rent land, to rent equipment, to lease properties, et cetera, horse sale agreements. That's something that we're very keen on finishing, so we're working at it. That's in development, and I'm really excited about that because I just think that's a great support for a large group of a segment of the States. And other than that, we're just continually developing and slowly growing now because of COVID-19, like everyone else. Interestingly, we are signing contracts, and we're going live in 2021 with some new mutuals that we just signed on. And that's more on business risk protection than personal. So we're, that's now a done deal, and we're just developing the sites right now for them, and we're going to be going live. So we've actually got things happening in this crazy world, but it's really tough out there, and I'm sure everyone's feeling the same. But those are a couple of our developments happening. Thanks for asking, Ron.
Well, thank you.
Just a warning that this time is winding down. I got it.
Okay, Cliff, if you're done, I can do some closing comments. Are you?
I just want to thank you for allowing me this space and time, Ron, Brittany, and everyone out there. Really, I really wish I could meet you and shake hands, but anyway, such is life. Hopefully, we'll get back on track soon.
I agree with that. One of the areas that we don't have a seminar developed for is the HR world, and a lot of what you're talking about would be benefits that are available through the human resource departments, that kind of stuff. So you may be asked to present again, or if you're more comfortable, picking somebody else from your company to present as well. Okay, well, that's up to you. Yeah, I got you. But we want to say thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to do that. I want to thank all our PAMIC members for attending as well. I know everybody's schedules are kind of crazy, either with meetings, emails, phone calls, or whatever. But in this new normal, this is what we have to get used to. With that, if there are any questions that you think of in the after we sign off, you can email them to us, and if we can respond to it, we will. If not, we'll share it with Clifford and get a response back to you as well. Clifford, why don't you share your email and/or phone number, whatever you want, with our folks, and this way, if they have any interest in getting in touch with you, they know how to do that.
Not a problem there. What I'll do is actually send out his information when I send out the follow-up email.
Okay, good. Thank you.
On that note, thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Again, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot.